Hi, everyone, and welcome back. Okay, it's time to budget. Where did the month, or what did the month of May 2026 reveal to me? And if you have this book, if you've gotten this book, and you are budgeting to spend, what did the month of May reveal to you? Okay. I'm surprised, but I'm not really surprised. Is there places that I can pull back on? No, I think each month is going to be different. And I think what I have to do is I've got to look at this for 3 months to 6 months to really get a feel of the expenses. Now, things are picking up in TJ's life, so I feel like my contribution, what I contribute, come on, Don, get the words out, what I contribute is not going to be as much as it's been, right? So that's going to change a little. All right, let's dive into it. I've done my math, okay, because I want to get into the HELOC. If you're here for the HELOC, let's get through the budget, and then we're going to dive into the HELOC. All right, I've done a lot of mathing. All right, so we're going to come over here to my categories. And because this is the closeout of May, we're going to just look at the bigger picture for each sheet. Now, I thought that $250 a month would be an amazing budget for groceries. But when you think about the grocery prices, I'm off. And there were two or three, I think there were two, Sam's Club purchases, which kind of makes the prices go up. I thought I'd spend about $1,000 a month. I was hoping to stay within that budget, but it was more like $1,748. So I was over by like $750. Okay, it is what it is. Let's see what July looks like. Now let's move on. Yeah, this was a big month. Big month. It was a big week. It was a huge week because there was a Sam's Club purchase in there. Now, dining out. I was on point almost for this one, and I totaled $800 as a budget, but honestly, I'm going to go over this. $1,024. I'm over by $224. But when you do the math and what I was actually talking about, like for 2024, when I looked at the numbers for 2025, that's about what happens here in this household. But I'm gonna just take a glimpse at this with you, because this is what gets me this much. On the way home from the wedding, we had stopped at Chili's. So Chili's, which is not local, so he had to have it, is $70.42. Now, mind you, there's not alcohol involved when we go to eat. Never. So the price is the appetizer, his meal, my meal, and the sodas. Then he went to a car show the other night. Now, I have not talked to him about this, but there's no way he spent $53.22 by himself. And this is what I think he does. He says to his buddy, you know what, just give me the cash and I'll put it on my card. Well, then he puts the cash in his pocket and the house has to cover it. Yeah. Then he went for pizza. He spent $9.88. He went and got bagels, $7.72. They did wood the other day, and the man that helped him do the wood, he took him for food. So that's the $31.24. And then he had Kev's Big Barbecue, $33.54. Again, he must have paid for George that day. I'm going to have to ask him. There's no way he spent $33.54 on his own meal. But then again, he probably got ribs and chicken, and I'm trying to think else, probably a potato. Knowing him. The only one I ate out at with him was Chili's. Does this not kill you? This kills me. If it kills you, I don't know, throw a hamburger or a hot dog on the description box. All right, now gas. Now gas is high, right? At least in this state it is. I budgeted for $800. We came in at $882 this month. $82.31 over. Now, we did take a trip to Long Island. And that is probably what kicked us over it. All right, so now we're going to move on. Amazon. I was so proud of us this week. I'm gonna show you something. We did buy things for the building, right? But we had to return a few things. So honestly, with the 2 things that were purchased and the 2 things that returned, this week came to $26.15. Now, I did budget $800 for Amazon this month. It was only $607.08. That means I was in a positive for the first category ever of $192.92. I love it. I love it. And that's with buying things that were necessities. All right, we're going to move on. All right. I'm not even going to do the math on the boys because I don't know about you, even though they're men, my men, they all cost me money. If I was a little old lady that lived her by herself in a condo in Florida, I'm sure that each one of these categories would be at a positive. Just saying. And if that made you laugh, let's see. Palm tree. Throw me a palm tree. Okay. Then we're going to move on to personal. Now, personal was a heavy hitter. And I spent money on purchasing the ISBN number for my book. Now, when you buy an ISBN number, you just don't buy one. They recommend that you buy a bundle because it's cheaper. And if you do a hardcover, a soft cover, or a digital, or an audio, you need a different number for each one. So there's 4 right there if I went that way. So that cost me some money, but John's been buying car parts and not paying the house back. He's going through something right now, and I'm not looking for a battle. I'm just going to watch right now. Just going to watch. So we were over this month by $292.64. So every category was over except for Amazon, which I really do have control over. Isn't that wild? Okay. I am going to do my reflections. I am definitely going to do this. In fact, let's do this right now. Come on, let's do this one together. I think this one is so very important. I'll take it out and then we'll put it back in. I don't want to rip it. Okay. So we've got groceries. Now, if your categories are not going to change, right? Copy this for 4 weeks. Like, write it out and copy it. And this way you don't have to keep writing it over and over again. I think that is what I'm going to do, because right now, I think for the next 6 months, these are the categories I am going to track. And just see where it goes. Now, groceries, I up to $250. I did up a couple. Let's see what I upped. Groceries is $250. Dining out is $2. Gas was $2. Amazon was $2. Boys were $2, and Donna and John were $2. Okay. So actual spent on groceries was $605.33. I was over. I was negative $355.33. Then when we go to dining out, We were at 206.02. I was at a negative 602. Gas, actual spent was 882.31. 82.31 is my negative. Amazon. For this month we spent 26.15 and we're at 173.85. That is our positive. The boys, we're not even gonna look at those numbers because they kill me. That 1 week killed me. And then John and Donna, 1092.64. 292.64 is the negative. All right, so let's check this in. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.50. And we have 605.33, 206.02, 882.31, 26.15, and is that really 1092? Why am I drawing a blank there for a second? No, this was not 1092. Giving myself a heart attack here. That was 650.53. All right. Honestly, the boys were, I can figure out the boys real quick. 138.84. So they were under. Okay. They were at a positive by 61.16. All right. So what do we get? 605.33, 206.02, 882.31, 26.15, 138.84, and 650.53 comes to 25.09.22. Could that be right? Oh, I'm giving totals. What am I doing here? I guess let's fix this. Okay, so I just did the quick weekly snapshot. Now, in all fairness, we have an extra day in there, right? Because if the week was supposed to end on a Saturday, I went until the 31st, so we have an extra week, a day. All right, but for this closeout, I'm so sorry, it's almost 10 o'clock at night. I budgeted $12.50. We spent $1941.80. That's a difference of $691.88 that I under budgeted. Let's say I did. So you know what? This is what's happening. Like I said, this gives me a snapshot of what my finances look like. And this year is going to tell me so much. Sorry, my discs. This is such a huge book. This here snapshot tells us so much. I'm looking to see where the money goes. And I have an idea of where that money goes. I just want to be more focused on it. And that's what's going to segue me in. I'm not done with this. I'm going to write down, because this is the important part to me. Now, we have the quick weekly check-in, but then we have our money check-in, right? What went well? I have to do this because now that we've finished this one, this goes from weekly to monthly. What patterns do I see? What am I proud of? Did I face any challenges? These are personal for me. I can't do them with you, but I'm going to do them because they're important to me. And let's get into what else is going on, right? I said that I would talk about the HELOC. But do me this favor. How did you do this month? Did you do okay? What did you find out about your habits, about your categories? Let me know. Okay. Let's get into this HELOC. This is where I'm at. Back on January 5th, 2025, right? Today, I want to talk about this, the HELOC journey, because I haven't brought it to the table in a long time, and I really want to tell you all where I'm at and what has been going on, right? I had a realization this week that completely changed the way that I was looking at my numbers, my progress. I went over this book. I went through this folder. We're gonna get into this folder, and I focused on some things, right? Back in January 5th, 2025. Remember when I did my debt confession? I was sitting here at this desk and I was running my numbers, and I had approximately $105,000 in debt, right? But I know I'm pausing because there's so much to talk about. You know what? Let me back up a second. I want to talk about this first, and then I'll get into the HELOC, right? Because this is what started the HELOC. Back in January 2025, I did a debt confession, and it said, "Dear God, I see all my debts paid in full. My bills are paid in full. My credit cards are paid in full. My car loan is paid in full. My truck loan is paid in full. I see everything I have to pay for paid in full. I see my home mortgage paid in full. I will be debt-free. I thought I'd be debt-free in 2025, but I still wrote, 'Thank you, God, love, Donna.'" And from there, I started looking, right? And I was brain dumping. Debt confession, awakening, the aha moment. My word for 2025 was accountability. I want to understand and look at my debt. I want to plan a repayment strategy. Take a look at my credit score, my history. Stop spending on wants, focus on needs. You've all heard that before. Increase my payments. Use the save to sink method. That was all back in 2025. Face it. Face your debt. And then I faced it, and we knocked out everything here, right? So that's why I kind of keep this stuff. And you're like, this was Q1 of 2025, and then we went on and on and on. Okay, why am I showing you this? Because like I said, I went through this folder, and today I had this aha moment again. Before I get into that, it was because of this, right? I had to look at these numbers today. By doing this weekly, this has definitely taken me to the next level. I'm in love with this book. Yes, it's work. Yes, it's homework. Yes, you've got to put forth the effort. Yes, you've got to look at your own numbers. And now this is what this comes to this to then this. June 4th, 2026. I'm being thankful. Dear God, thank you. Thank you for the awareness that began on January 5th, 2025, for the courage to sit down and face my debt, for helping me see the numbers instead of running from them, for every lesson hidden inside this journey, for the mortgage that is now paid in full, for the truck that is paid in full, for the Explorer that is paid in full, for every credit card that is paid in full each month, for the roof over our head, the food on our table, the opportunity to help our children as they build their own futures. Can't get mad at these numbers. Can't. These numbers are just telling me a story that made me thankful for this. For Donna, powered by creativity. I'm going to get emotional. Oh my gosh. For the village. For carrying me through the days I didn't think I could carry myself. For the love of our animals whose poor prints remain on my heart. For the setbacks that taught me patience. For the moments that taught me grace. For reminding me that progress is not always a straight line. Today I chose to focus on what has been accomplished instead of what remains. That's an important line for me. Thank you for bringing me this far. Thank you, Lord, for guiding me. Thank you, God. Love, Donna. With you, all things are possible. Amen. I'm wondering right now what that next letter to God is going to be. But I trust that He's got me on a path. Now, this is where I'm at. The HELOC, this is my story of my HELOC, right? I'm not getting rid of this, but we don't have to look at this because I'm going to talk to you about it. Actually, you know what? We'll leave this open. So back in January of 2005, I had, well, it says here $106,400 in debt. It was really about 105. Around that same time, I had been watching the videos, Fantastic, right? Velocity Banking. And what really made me laugh was that I already had the HELOC. I didn't need to go get it. I had it. We had originally opened that HELOC when we were building the TJ's building, right? I needed to get a home equity line of credit to start the construction so that we can get a loan for the building, right? You had to show, and that's why I had the HELOC. But when the building was complete and the loan came through for that building, my HELOC went back down to zero. Totally forgot I had it. But then when I started watching Fantastic, Christine, I was just like, wow, right? I paid off the mortgage, the Explorer, we did all that, right? I consolidated everything into that HELOC. The balance was zero. My mortgage deed now is mine. The title to that truck was now mine. The Ford Explorer title came, right? Had money in the HELOC. I took money out of all the binders, paid down that. Still saved for the roof, right? I had a plan. I had a vision. I honestly thought that I'd be out of my own debt by now and started working down TJ's house. But this is what happened. TJ changed career paths. And that stopped me from putting money towards the HELOC and put money toward my sons. Both of them, right? And that is what this is. The opportunity to help our children as they build their futures. So I might not have paid down the debt or TJ's house, but I gave TJ something more valuable. And that's his career path. So at a time last year, I was full force on that HELOC, right? Pulling money, doing the roof, doing this. And remember, Tex passed away suddenly. That spiraled me, right? And then we had the repairs on the cars. Everything was happening And honestly, I put the HELOC on the back burner. I'd pay that monthly. No big deal. I wasn't really putting anything towards it because I was putting money towards my boy's future. I wasn't running the scenarios like I was. I wasn't focused on the interest. I wasn't focused on anything. I was lucky I was saving, right? I'd fallen behind. You know this. There were times I wasn't saving at all. So let's get into numbers here for a second. In 2025, I paid $5,364.03 in interest on the HELOC. When I saw that number, I was like, humana, humana, humana. I did a Ralph Cramden. It scared the bejeebers out of me. $5,000 in interest? That got my attention. But then I looked at the next line. In that same year, right? In that same year, because I'm looking at my spreadsheet right now. In that same year, I reduced the principal by $41.66. So over $40,000 suddenly changed that story for me, because all I had focused on was what didn't happen. Today, I choose to focus on what has been accomplished instead of what remains. This is the part of the story that gets me so excited, right? Because I could sit here and bash myself about the balance that's on that HELOC, but I'm not going to, because there were so many amazing strides within that year. And we're going to go deeper into this. Okay, so the HELOC wasn't paid off. My timeline did not go as I wanted it to, right? It's really not according to my plan. It's according to his plan. So now I'm not looking at what did happen. I am looking at, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. I did not. Let's focus on what I did do, right? I did some amazing things. The roof got done, right? Went on a couple of vacations. I'm trying to think, you probably even know more of what I did. But the vehicles, the mortgage, actually having the titles and the deeds are so important to me, because that shows ownership. It helped my family. We took care of our home with that roof. With Tex dying, I survived something that was devastating for me. And then I got a puppy. And then I repaired the back deck. And, life just lifes, right? And this is what happened today. Today is what caused me to do this. I have been sitting here, and I have been getting so much accomplished for everyone within my family, and for Donna Powered by Creativity. Why? With the help of ChatGPT and Jarvis, I feel like I have an assistant. He creates lists for me, tasks I want to get done. Right now we're working on everything that I've got to do within a month, and then we're going to put together a timeline, and I'm going to be able to keep track of every single thing that's got to be done in the month, whether it is to pay a bill, to double check this, to look at my Young Living order. I got rid of my Chewy subscription, whatever they call that monthly Chewy. That's gone. I started looking at things. Next, so what we're doing now is, like, if I've got to create the HOP calendar, the gifts for the moon, right? The free moon savings challenge, the membership giveaway, freebie, all the stuff that's got to get done on a regular basis, not only within my family, but with Donna Powered by Creativity. Think about this for a second. Think about everything that has to get done for me to bring everything to the table, right? That's a lot. And still waking up and finding time to pray, listening to Father Mike, doing things for myself, right? And being a fur baby mom and a mom to my boys and a grandma and all that. But okay, so this is what happened today. With TJ getting back to normal, I was able to look at, now I've used Quicken, right? So I can see every bill that comes out on a specific day. And if there's a block of money that's sitting in that checking account, now, if you've listened to Fantastic, that's not what she wants it to do. Don't have it sit in that checking account. Get it into the HELOC. When you got to pay that bill, get it out of the HELOC, right? And what's great is that it doesn't have to be on a daily for me because there's a week in between everything, which works for me. So today I took $5,000 out of that checking account and I threw it at the HELOC. That knocked the HELOC from $60,000 to $55,000. Now, if I don't have to use any of that, it's going to stay there. Now, in my last video, I'm working hard on that pool budget, right? I've got to stay focused. Christmas time, December closeouts, like everything is mathing within my brain. And then I had this amazing aha moment that the balances that I'm still paying thousands of dollars a year in interest, right? Not because, all right, so this year we're already into June. I pay about $300 and something, and I'll get that in a second, a month. Times that by 12. I'm gonna dive deep into that in a second because I wanna go over the numbers that the HELOC is at 7.25. I know I'm going off here. If you could just see what's in my brain and how I can get it out. So at my balance of $55,000, I'm still paying thousands of dollars a year in interest. Not thousands, I shouldn't say that. I think it's just over 1,000. Oh, it's not. It's thousands. I had to do the math. Okay. Let me go over this. Sometimes I surprised myself. I really do. So, thousands of dollars in interest. Not because I'm doing anything that I shouldn't be doing. I am really not carrying debt other than this. Everything gets, like I said in this letter, credit cards get used, that bill comes in, that gets paid. I'm done. So I start looking at all the bills, all the numbers, and today I decided that I'm going to focus on the HELOC, just like I did back last year. I have some big things that I've got to get used to. The taxes, those are my responsibility. I didn't think of that last year when I paid off that mortgage. Those are 2 months that normally if I was saving this money, where would that go? Straight into my Save to Sink envelopes. But this is what I realized. I'm on point for the pool. I'm on point for September's taxes. The hop is growing. The 52-week challenge is growing. I'm doing Save with Judy until December. Ding, ding, ding finalizes at December, right? So I'm thinking this. So if I could keep up with everything that's coming at me right now, long-term December goals, what if everything that I save for December can then be put towards the HELOC? Wouldn't that be amazing? That's the direction that I want to go in. So every number is playing a part in my head. It really is. I'm no longer looking backwards. I am looking at what I can focus on. And it's not what still remains, it's what I've done, right? Because that's progress. Like, you know what's so funny? I kept seeing the word progress in my head today. And being that Disney soul, the carousel of progress kept fleeting into my brain. And maybe because they're closing it down right now. I know I'm getting off track here for a second. And it's going to be under restoration, and they're changing it up. So taking all that and thinking about the word progress so much with all of this, I'm still making progress. I just did not give the focus to the HELOC like I once did. Now, think about my HELOC focus. Think about this focus. The moment I stop focusing, where'd the money go? Now that I'm focusing on that, here, maybe I'll find more money. Maybe it'll teach us all to cut back a little. Maybe I needed to do this. Maybe I needed to do this so that I start looking at this again. And this is what the point was. Remember before I said homework, homework, homework? Well, this is just as much homework. If you don't give your attention to your money, where do you think your money is going to go? Where's it going to go? I talked about that last June. I have no idea. It just disappears. So this is what I do want to just talk about for a second. I talked about my interest last year. And now I was totally shocked over that interest, right? And that was for the HELOC at 7.25%. Now, if I took my $55,000 and just said that it was across credit cards, right, versus being in my HELOC, I did the math today. I sat here and I was running numbers. Hold on to your chair. Hold on to it. If I were carrying $55,000 on credit cards, charging 25% interest, I would be paying approximately $13,750 a year in interest. That's over $1,000 every month. And if the interest rate was not 25 and it was 30, I'd be looking at approximately $16,000 in interest a year. And that's about $1,400 a month payment. So my $300 that I'm paying in interest is because I wasn't putting money in and pulling money out. I was not doing that. Now, if I do that, I might save $20 or $30 a month. And you'd be like, okay, so what's the big deal? Do you really want to go back and forth and do all that work? Well, let's talk about this. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. So if I find $20 in doing that little bit of work, right? You might say, is it worth it? But let me ask you this question. If you found that $20 bill on the ground, you'd be like, oh my gosh, I got $20. So why wouldn't I have that same feeling about $20 that I can save on interest? It's not that it's going to make or break me. It's just a good habit. And you're going to be thinking, Donna, well, this is what I enjoy the most. I enjoy running the numbers. I enjoy looking at the HELOC as if it were a chess game. I love to look at the cash flow, the deposits. I love looking at my Quicken account. I like to watch when the numbers come in and go out. I am to the zero. I zero my checking account out every single month. If I'm off by a penny, I don't stop until I find that penny. So with me going forward with the HELOC, what I'm going to do is right now, my routine is this. Wake up, grab my coffee, go sit outside. The sun comes up in front of me. I say my prayers, I listen to the birds, I'm in the moment. And then that sun gets really hot, and I'm like, ooh, gotta go in the house. Come in the house. Sit down at my desk. First thing I'm going to get in the habit of doing is looking at my checking account. And then I'm going to see and go through all the numbers. This is something that I want to do, and I want to get in the habit of doing. Why? I said this in the other video. $1 a day, saving the date, these are all things that are important to me. If it gets the good habits going. I am beyond grateful for this journey. I'm sad that I let this not be a focus. But I'm going to focus on this now. And considering, and you guys see all the numbers. The roof, the pool, the cars, the porta-john, right? That was a heavy hitter this month too. The attorney, taxes, not just property taxes, but people, IRS taxes. Like, think about all the money that goes out. With that being said, I'm going to do diligence. I'm going to stay focused as best I can. I'm going to save money. I'm going to strategize all the savings challenges, my long-term ones. When I look back at 2 years ago, I was saving for the fun of it. Right? Just saving. Oh my God, this is so fun. Let me save money. What can I do with that money I saved? Right? Do you remember that? I remember that. That beginning, here's the, oh my gosh, this just came to me. When you first started saving your money, you're like, oh, I'm saved this, I saved that. So, oh my gosh. Then when you realize that beginning savings is almost like you being a kid and having no worries, right? You're just saving money. You're having fun doing that. Then take it a year later, and then you're realizing, wow, you could save this money. What are you going to do with that money to help you get ahead? And that's then goes from the childhood to the adult. I would love to hear what you have to say on this. I know I got winded, and I know I was like all over the place, but it's a matter of this, the HELOC, and budgeting. Like, everything's pulling together, but it takes work. So just remember this. We're done. I'm finished. I got this done. I will double save tomorrow, right? Tomorrow's Friday. I will do pixie dusting tomorrow. We will get everything that has to get done. I will stay on track. And the conscious choices that we make today are going to create the life we live tomorrow. The life we live tomorrow is that person sitting in that rocking chair. And what is that person thinking? Please have that younger version of me be focused. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to focus, and I am going to think about progress. Love yous. See yous in the next one. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Leave me a comment. Maybe hit that thumbs up. Bye.